Is America witnessing the most dramatic shift in immigration policy in decades? Just months after his return to the White House, President Trump has put pen to paper on what might be his most controversial executive order yet. The Self-Deportation Initiative is already making waves across the nation. To see more interesting content like this, smash the like button and subscribe right now. On a rainy Tuesday morning in Washington, President Trump gathered his cabinet and key supporters in the Oval Office. The atmosphere was tense as cameras flashed, capturing what Trump himself called a historic moment for American sovereignty. With a dramatic flourish, Trump signed the executive order while declaring, "Today marks the beginning of a new era in American immigration policy." The room erupted in applause from supporters, while opposition members stood stone-faced at the back. The executive order, officially titled "Promoting National Security Through Voluntary Departure of Undocumented Persons," has quickly become known simply as the Self-Deportation Order. But what exactly does this controversial document contain? Let's break it down. Self-deportation isn't a new concept. It refers to making conditions so difficult for undocumented immigrants that they choose to leave the country voluntarily. Under this new order, individuals without proper documentation will face increased challenges in daily life, from employment to housing. Dr. Martha Reynolds, immigration policy expert from Georgetown University, explains, "This policy creates a system where life becomes increasingly difficult for undocumented residents. Rather than direct deportation, which requires significant resources, this approach aims to encourage voluntary departure." The order establishes a 180-day grace period during which undocumented individuals can leave the country without facing penalties that might otherwise prevent future legal entry. Those who depart during this window will reportedly receive documentation that could help them apply for legal entry in the future. The economic implications of this order are highly disputed. The White House has released figures suggesting the policy will save taxpayers billions in education, healthcare, and law enforcement costs. However, independent economists paint a different picture. Dr. James Lee from the Economic Policy Institute points out, "Several sectors of our economy rely heavily on immigrant labor, particularly agriculture, construction, and hospitality. A sudden workforce reduction could create significant disruptions in these industries." In California's Central Valley, farmers are already expressing concern about potential labor shortages during harvest seasons. Meanwhile, construction industry representatives in Texas and Florida have warned of possible project delays and increased costs if significant portions of their workforce depart. Public reaction has been swift and divided. In major cities across America, large protests have erupted with signs reading, "No human being is illegal," and "Families belong together." Immigrant advocacy groups have already filed multiple lawsuits challenging the constitutionality of the order. Meanwhile, supporters of the policy have organized rallies praising the president's action. At a gathering in Phoenix, Arizona, hundreds assembled with American flags and signs reading, "Enforce our laws" and "America First." Social media has exploded with hashtags representing both sides, with number "Resist Deportation" and number "Enforce Laws" trending nationally. Celebrity opinions have further fueled the debate, with high-profile figures taking strong stances on both sides. The ink had barely dried on the executive order before legal challenges began mounting. The American Civil Liberties Union filed suit within hours, arguing the order violates due process rights guaranteed by the Constitution. Legal expert Sarah Ramirez explains, "The constitutionality of this order will hinge on several factors, including whether it respects due process rights and whether the executive branch has overstepped its authority into areas reserved for Congress." Several federal judges have already signaled willingness to examine the order. with hearings scheduled in multiple jurisdictions. Legal experts predict the case may eventually reach the Supreme Court, setting up a major showdown over executive power and immigration policy. The international community has responded with mixed reactions. Mexico's president has expressed deep concern about the potential influx of returnees, while requesting emergency meetings with the U.S. officials to discuss implementation. Several Central American nations have similarly voiced worry about their capacity to reintegrate large numbers of returning citizens. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has issued a statement urging the U.S. to ensure humanitarian protections remain in place for vulnerable populations. In contrast, some European leaders dealing with their own immigration debates have expressed interest in the American approach, watching closely to see its effectiveness and public reception. Beyond politics and policy, real human lives hang in the balance. The Rodriguez family in Dallas exemplifies the dilemma many now face. Having lived in the United States for 15 years without documentation, they must now decide whether to return to a country their children barely remember. "My daughters are American in every way except on paper," explains Maria Rodriguez. "They speak English better than Spanish. Their friends, their school, everything they know is here. But now we must consider returning to a place that no longer feels like home." For others like Javier Ortiz, a construction worker in Georgia, the decision seems clearer. "I came here for work to support my family back home. If I can no longer work legally, I will return." But many families are deeply rooted here with nowhere else to go. This isn't the first controversial immigration policy in American history. From the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 to Operation Wetback in the 1950s, American immigration policy has seen dramatic shifts before. Historian Dr. Robert Chen provides context. American immigration policy has historically swung between more open and more restrictive approaches. What's notable about this current policy is its focus on creating conditions that encourage voluntary departure rather than direct enforcement actions. The effectiveness of self-deportation policies remains debated, with limited historical examples to draw from. Previous attempts at similar approaches have shown mixed results, with many undocumented residents choosing to remain despite increased difficulties. As America enters this new chapter in its immigration story, the full impact of President Trump's executive order remains to be seen. Will large numbers of undocumented residents choose to depart during the grace period? Will court challenges block implementation? The coming months will certainly test American institutions and values. What's clear is that the debate over immigration continues to reveal deep divisions in American society about national identity, security, economics, and compassion. As this story develops, we'll continue providing updates on the implementation and consequences of this significant policy shift. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for more engaging content next time. This complex issue will continue evolving, and we'll be here to bring you the latest developments as they unfold.